else is stuff that I've only done like once or twice, and I don't know if I've done here. So, you want to hear a bunch of haiku, or do you want to hear something longer?
Are they shitty haikus?
No. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Why don't you start with how many haikus do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 10 or 11. You don't have to listen to all of them.
Alright, pick 5, and we're going to have a small discussion in between each. Okay?
Alright. Follow the fireflies, eager to show you something, a stillborn bunny.
Dean, you have a strange look on your face, so go ahead and explain your look. You had this look like a what the fuck was that, so why are you wondering?
In my mind, I'm picturing a 1 or 2 extremely happy child. Everything's right with the world. It's close to dark, just after twilight. You know, the world's a magical place. Even at this time of night, things are so new, so fresh, so vibrant. These magical, glowing insects come about like floating dreams in the sky. They want to catch them in a jar, poke holes in, and admire them. They follow these magical things and see this crushed, broken creature laying on the ground. First taste of reality and suffering in the world. That's what comes to my mind.
I dig the contradictions. Contradiction gives all art its tension and its energy. I kind of got the image. Has anyone ever seen The Max?
No.
Look it up, people. Jesus. One of MTV's classics before they got all shitty.
The Max.
The Max. It's an animated show about a little girl who can't deal with reality when she finds a dead bunny, roadkill, and hides it under her bed from her parents, and invents this whole world when the parents... Actually, the bunny's not completely dead, and they have to kill it, and she winds up seeing them, and then they have to bury it. So it's just very dark and disturbing, and this homeless guy winds up getting brought into her fantasy world as a superhero. It's a very dark and twisted superhero fantasy. And his princess is this jungle girl who's actually a grown woman now, who's his caseworker.
Sounds like, is it a TV show or a movie?
It's a cartoon. It's a short season cartoon. Yeah, The Max. It's a comic too.
Check that shit out.
It's alright. Sheena, did you have anything to say?
I liked it. All I could picture was, you know, like little kids take each other's hands and be like, "Come here, I want to show you something," and then it's like a stillborn bunny. That's it. You didn't expect that. That was very unexpected in the end.
Dan, anything? Kelsey? I see you writing, so you must have got some kind of idea there.
No, this went down in the...
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
I did like it, though.
Okay.
I pretty much saw what he saw, but I didn't describe.
Okay, Josh, go ahead.
Alright. It was found today, the body of a woman killed softly by life.
See, that one did the complete opposite to me. Like the first one, it was all like, "Yay, death," and then it was like death, but not that bad of a death. So it was complete opposite to me.
It's kind of the purpose of Japanese art, and haikus of Japanese art, is to let you invent half the story yourself.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever read a longer Japanese literature, and on average their novels are far shorter than an American novel,
Yeah.
because they don't give endings. They leave some kind of an open ending that makes you complete it yourself. It's very much the Japanese style to not finish what they're doing, because the imperfection is the beauty. To perfect it would be to over-explain it. To finish it would be to tell the observer what it is instead of letting them discover it themselves.
Yeah.
That makes me think the happening is Japanese.
What is?
No, the happening was just really bad writing.
Well, and you know, the end of The Sopranos was also just we ran out of ideas. We couldn't figure out how to end this well enough, so we just gave up.
The happening is like, oh, it's global warming.
Alright, Josh, continue.
Alright. It was found today. An old leather-bound journal, all its pages blank.
You started both of those with "it was found."
Yeah,
today.
there's 3 it was found today's. Yeah, if you actually, Richard writes haiku, his entire book, haiku that he did, like maybe 20 of them have the same first line.
This almost sounds personal. It sounds a little personal, like writer's block or something, like, or my
Yeah, I
greatest
could see
works
that,
will eventually
yeah.
fade into non-existence. Yeah, like here is this epic bound volume of my works, but it's faded into non-existent. It never really meant anything. Yeah. Any Dean? Or did I just over-explain the explanation?
I think that's a very insightful interpretation on your part. Personally, I think that, and I find that very interesting because I have my own opinion of how you came to that conclusion and why. But
Was this based on our discussion of my fears?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Well, that's the purpose of the haiku, is to let you extrapolate your own meaning.
I picture the journal like I do almost any empty book as endless possibility.
So you saw it more as optimistic than I saw it as pessimistic. It's possible. But see, and the only reason I might disagree, and he has the contradiction there, the old leather-bound journal, but the blank pages. New, old. That's also very much the haiku style, is to have these abrupt contradictions in your vocabulary. And the only reason I might have suggested that it was faded away is because old leather-bound, which tells me they don't really make leather-bound journals anymore, that this thing's been around a while, and it shouldn't be blank. It might have faded into blankness.
Another thing about the haikus is I don't really get meaning out of the haikus. I hear the haiku and it creates an entire scene in my head, and then I have to sit there and think upon what I see in the scene in order to give me meaning.
See, that's sort of...
How is that
that's
not
sort of
finding
what-
meaning, though?
That was something
That's always
we
what
talked
I
about in
thought that
class.
haikus were supposed to do. You know, I never really thought that they
Like,
were...
there's most haiku, at least most legitimate haiku, the goal is not to make a point. The goal is to create a scene and indulge all the senses. Like, if you read some basho, there's like haiku about just frogs jumping into lakes, and that's it. That's the entire thing. And there's no like social point, and there's no like big thing to say with it. It's just an image, a feeling, and then you're kind of dwelled in this scene. You're given 3 lines, so you do as much with the 3 lines as you can.
Okay, so what are we on? The 4th one now? We've
yeah,
done
I
3.
think so.
Okay, go for it, man.
Alright. Let's see. On cement pillows, resting for revolution, nearby the grass grows.
You paid a lot of attention in your haiku class, didn't you?
Yeah.
This is a
It was
very
so bad.
Japanese style, and because every single one of them has that strong contradictory element. So far, I mean, that's the only thing I can say. And the only reason I keep going back to the Japanese shit is that I took a Japanese culture course, which explained the common elements in Japanese literature. And we went over a lot of tanka, which is essentially a double haiku.
Yeah.
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 So,
This class sucked.
you didn't like this class?
The teacher couldn't teach.
But it looked like you paid a lot of attention
I
in
did
it.
pay a lot of attention. The teacher still couldn't
Did you
teach.
fail it?
No.
Oh, well then you did fine.
The teacher couldn't teach.
Alright, Sheena, you got anything to say? I can't remember what it was.
I like the elements of hard and soft, like feelings, emotions, textures, so I thought the concrete and the grass, that's exactly what I thought was hard and then soft.
This sounds like... I mean, because I know Josh, I'm getting personal... I'm linking this to personal things in Josh's life. This sounds very much like a personal scene of Josh's life.
Actually, it's more about Neil.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, the Occupy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Like that's...
Is Neil's like your muse now?
No, just that poem.
Dean, do you have anything to say?
I'm not sure how to take it. The image that came to mind though was a vibrant green grass, crystal blue sky, maybe a fluffy bright clouds here and there, perhaps a tree right here, and a headstone with goldenrod flowers growing next to it.
You get the golden flowers.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Hey,
That's something I would have never, that didn't equate to me at all.
Yeah.
That's very
Like
interesting.
the goal.
That's a really good take on it, though.
The image I had in my head when I wrote it, and this is like the only one I'll probably give the behind story for, is, like I said, it was about Occupy movement. It was because we were talking in class about how like a lot of haiku, the ultimate message is like there's nothing. Like it's what we do as humans is not important. And so what I did is I took that. I imagined somebody from the Occupy in Cleveland movement sleeping on the sidewalk because that's what they did for a while. And like they're like ready for revolution and all this stuff. And like meanwhile, like not 2 feet away from the grass is growing like it's always grown. It's
not changing anything.
Okay. Number 5.
Alright. I'm trying to find a decent one.
You telling me they're all shit?
No, I'm just saying I'm trying to find something to end with that's good.
Well, it was a little while ago that he wrote them, so it must be shit.
Didn't you write them this year?
Yeah.
Alright, you dick. Quit playing the asshole.
Last year, I think, actually.
Alright. Oh, might be a little dated then.
Maybe this year.
Whatever. Just find a fifth one.
I envy those birds. They have not yet trapped themselves in the cage of time.
I'm going to start with Stephanie. Because Stephanie hasn't commented on anything yet because she's holding the camera and thinks that makes her exempt.
No, I just don't say anything.
Well, talk shit. Say something.
I don't know.
What's your general opinion of haikus in general?
In general, I think they're very interesting, and like I don't have a whole lot of experience with it, but like I hate talking.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to life. You're gonna have to talk a lot.
Yeah. I don't know, like just the contradiction of pretty much everything. Like there's the positive side and then the negative side, or the one that people don't generally want to have happen or want to talk about. I don't know. That might just be me.
Okay. Dean?
I don't think this one is nearly as good as the Leatherbound Journal or the Concrete Movements. I actually had to stop and think about it to come up with anything. The very first thought that came to mind was of birds in flight, and as they're flying, they rot down to bone, and then the sinew, the tendons, everything regrow and they're back to normal, they continue their flight. And then thinking a little bit longer, the closest thing I could come to it was some old person sitting on the side of the street, looking on the sidewalk, small children playing, no care to yesterday or tomorrow. And the old people are envious about not giving a thought about the future.
I definitely got the image of somebody almost a little bitter about wasted youth. Like some guy in a nursing home, and the only thing he can do now is stare out the damn window, and he sees his little baby birds and goes, God damn motherfucking youth. Kelsey, you have anything to say?
Before you guys said anything, I thought it was, sounds like somebody is envious of those who haven't dwelled upon age and how much time they have left.
Okay.
It made me think of like wild birds as opposed to caged birds. Like a caged bird sits and has to endure its surroundings continuously. The free ones can do whatever they want and change the scenery. If you sit stagnant, then you focus more on the bad parts. But if you're flying free, then you can do whatever you want.
Dan, do you have anything to say?
I saw, not really birds, but people like, a little kid being explained what life is by some old dude who just got out of jail. Well, he was in jail for like 7 or 10 years.
That's a little long to be in jail. I don't think that has happened yet. But either way,
It could.
possibly. All right. You haven't said anything yet. You have any comments?
Nope, because quite honestly, I forgot what a haiku was until right now. So
575.
Yeah. I haven't
Actually, random point on that. Jack Kerouac argued that in order for an American haiku to exist, an English haiku, it didn't have to be strictly 575 because our language doesn't work the same way.
Right.
And he thinks that it's too restrictive. So Jack Kerouac's haiku weren't 575. They were all over the place. They were just 3 really short lines.
And I agree. And we also
All these
speak
were
our
575.
language. We also speak our language different than the Japanese.
Mhm.
And that I have to say the reason that so many people in the U.S. don't like haikus is because in translation, or just trying to make American ones, it loses the rhythm that the Japanese language has.
Yeah.
And the Japanese language in art is just as much about how you say it as what you say.
Yeah.
That and possibly the fact that most people don't know what the fuck haiku is. Like, I've always looked at haikus as being, retarded because I tried to look at them in terms of a regular poem and extract some kind of deeper meaning from them.
You can, but you can't judge them by the standards of a regular poem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they're just supposed to paint a picture to you. What you everything it's very personal. It's not it's not usually personal to the writer. I mean it may be, but it's portrayed totally different to every single person. And they're so structured and so tiny that they can mean so much and so little all at the same time. So it's like I can see why you don't like them and why you like them at the same time.
I liken haikus and tanka to being like the abstract art of poetry. There is really no meaning or necessary form. It's just whatever you get out of it. You see a sailboat, it's a goddamn sailboat.